Hello, welcome to Ask a Nurse series. My name is Franklin Hampton. I work for the emergency room department in Brooklyn Hospital Center. The topic of discussion today is domestic and intimate partner violence. The faces of domestic and intimate partner violence. 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will experience severe physical violence by an intimate partner in their lifetime. 1 in 10 women in the United States will be raped by an intimate partner in her lifetime. Approximately 16.9% of women and 8% of men will experience sexual violence and other than rape by an intimate partner and at some point of their life. An estimated 9.7% of women and 2.3% of men will have been stalked by an intimate partner during their lifetime. The idea of violence and domestic and intimate partner violence are very interchangeable, no matter what the relationship status is. 2 in 5 lesbian women, 3 in 5 bisexual women, 1 in 3 heterosexual women will experience rape, physical violence, and stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. 1 in 4 gay men, 1 in 3 bisexual men, 3 in 10 heterosexual men will experience rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner in their lifetime. The domestic violence statistics in New York City. Intimate partner homicide accounts for over half of New York City family-related homicides. The New York City Police Department responds to approximately 230,000 domestic incidents each year. What is domestic and intimate partner violence? Violence are terms that are often, those are terms that are often used interchangeably, describing violence amongst parties who are related, married, share children of any household. The violence include physical, sexual, emotional abuse. An intimate partner is a person with whom you have had a close personal or sexual relationship with. Intimate partner violence affect millions of people each year in the United States. Setting the stage for violence. Many abusive people appear like ideal partners in early stage of relationship. Possessive and controlling behavior do not always manifest overnight. They may emerge and intensify as the relationship grows. Every relationship is different, and domestic violence does not always look the same. But in all abusive relationship study, the victim states that the abusive partner began by establishing power and control of the victim through many different methods, such as accusing them of infidelity, alleging the victim doesn't love them anymore, COVID-19 brought a new interest to domestic violence and intimate partner violence. There was very increasing numbers, and such as in some point increased due to the isolation of exposed areas of vulnerabilities due to a lack of support systems. The stay-at-home order added extra stress, accompanied with alcohol, depression, post-traumatic stress. They all increased all over the world. In China, Hubei province increased triple times over. France increased 30%. Argentina increased 25%. Cyprus increased by 30%. Singapore increased by 33%. Within the United States, there were several states that increased. Portland, Oregon, 22%. San Antonio, 18%. Jefferson County, Alabama, 27%. And between the days of March 16th through the 22nd of 2020 in New York City, it increased by 10%. Emotional and verbal abuse. You may not think you're being abused if you're not being hurt physically, but emotional and verbal abuse can have long-lasting effects that are just as serious as the effect of physical abuse. Emotional verbal abuse, including yelling, cursing, insults, attempting to scare, isolate, or control you. It is often a sign of physical abuse that may follow. Physical abuse is a progressive and intensifies over time. It usually begins by pushing, shoving, or many cases progressive to slapping, kicking, punching, hair pulling, biting, assault with a weapon. Remember, love is never supposed to hurt. It can also include sexual abuse in which a victim will be subject to certain sex acts as a form of punishment for the purpose of inflicting pain and humiliation. The cycle of abuse. The cycle of abuse is a model developed to explain the complexity and the coexistence of abuse within loving behavior. There are four phases in the cycle of violence. One is tension building. Two is incident. Three is reconciliation. And four is the honeymoon phase. Without intervention, the frequency and severity of the abuse tend to increase over time. The cycle of abuse continues. Over a period of time, there may be changes to the cycle. The honeymoon phase may become shorter and tension and violence may increase. As the cycle starts, the victims start going in and out of the relationship. It is often take many attempts to make a final decision to leave for good. Feelings of guilt and insecurity and the concern for children's well-being play a strong role in the victim decision and making the process to leave. Domestic violence in children. Sadly, in many domestic violence settings, there's also child abuse. But even if your child isn't being physically abused, simply witnessing domestic violence can be harmful. Children who grow up in abusive homes are more likely to abuse and have behavioral problems than other children. As adults, they are more likely to become abusers or think abuse is normal part of a relationship. Teen dating violence. There's a new indication of an increase of teen dating violence that is very similar to domestic violence and intimate partner violence. There's the physical violence, the sexual violence, the psychological aggression, and stalking. With sexual violence, enforcing or attempting to force a partner to take part in a sex act or sexual touching when the partner does not or cannot consent. It is also non-physical sexual behaviors like posting or sharing sexual pictures of partners without their consent or sexting someone without their consent. Undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants face many of the same challenges of other victims of abuse. However, they may also face some unique challenges such as fear of being deported or losing custody of their children. Physical, sexual, emotional or other types of abuse is never okay. Even if it happened within a marriage, domestic and intimate partner violence is against the law. Even the abuser or victim is not a U.S. citizen. We have many resources in New York City. We have the Brooklyn Family Justice Center, which is in every borough. We have a food supplement assistance program called SNAP. We have WIC, which is readily available for mothers and children. We can help. At the Brooklyn Hospital Center, we remain dedicated to keeping Brooklyn healthy and implore you to seek help if you need to. Our emergency room department is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to help meet all your healthcare needs and provide you with resources, referrals in a safe, non-judgmental environment. We are COVID-19 safe. Our hospital staff diligently to keep every COVID-19 safe by keeping everyone COVID-19 safe by ensuring the hospital surface, including chairs, beds, stretchers, are clean after each and every patient. We have increased our hand sanitizing stations by more than double, utilizing hand hygiene ambassadors to ensure we are all safe. In conclusion, domestic and partner violence is an issue that is being increasingly escalating around the world. It is became very increasingly worse due to the pandemic. We have to come up with more in-depth screening processes to ensure that we catch each and every person who deals with domestic violence or intimate partner violence. Let it start with us. This is the end of Ask a Nurse web series. Looking forward to seeing everyone next month.